Welcome to the IBM Cloud Developer Certification Section 5.2, Plan and Track Work for Agile Team Collaboration. In this section, we will define Agile terminology and methodologies, and utilize a track and plan functionality in IBM Bluemix DevOps Services to enable Agile tracking and planning on a project, prepare a product backlog, define new sprints for the project, and assign backlog items to the first sprint. Agile developers have their own language and use some interesting terms like backlog, sprint, scrum, epic, story, task, defect, and more. Some definitions of the various terms are provided here. Agile is a collection of values and principles that encourage certain types of behavior like collaboration and focus on value generation. It takes an iterative approach to software development where each block of time, or sprint, is executed in a well-defined manner. On an Agile project, new features awaiting implementation are captured in a product backlog. Then the team identifies the work for the next sprint in a sprint backlog. The definition of ready and the definition of done are important concepts and the only real stable states during a given sprint. Work items for each sprint are pulled from a product backlog, and as the sprint executes, new functions are added to the project to address specific needs. During the sprint, daily scrums are held, during which current work is inspected and future work is adapted. At the end of a sprint, a new increment of the product is finalized and may or may not be shippable. Before a new sprint is ready, reviews and retrospectives occur to evaluate the process and the project. Agile teams require a collaborative environment to plan and track their work during a cloud application development project. IBM Bluemix DevOps Services track and plan feature is used to manage a team's work throughout a project, including product backlog, sprints, work item status, priorities, effort, work assignment, and progress towards team's objectives. During a new project creation, if you want to use all of the track and plan features, including the ability to create sprints from the project backlog of work items, select the Add Features for Scrum Development checkbox. If you want to use only the traditional planning feature, which uses tasks and iterations without a backlog, clear the checkbox. This option can only be selected during a new project's creation. When a work item is created but not assigned to a sprint, the work item is shown in the incoming work view. As soon as a work item is assigned to a sprint, it is removed from the incoming work view. In the incoming work view, you can triage work items in several ways. To reject the work item, click the Trash This Item icon. The work item is resolved and its status is changed to invalid. To accept the work item and assign it to the backlog, click the Triage to Backlog icon. Then you can evaluate the work item against other work items in the sprint planning view and assign the work item to a sprint. To assign the work item to a sprint, open the work item and select a value from the Planned For list. Create new sprints by clicking on the Sprint Planning view and then click on the Add Sprints button. It is possible to create multiple sprints at one time, and the sprint length is variable. Once sprints have been created, you can edit the start and stop dates and rename them as well. While you plan a sprint, review the work items in the backlog and sprint planning views to rank the work items. Rank work items and assign story points to them by dragging work items into position. In the sprint planning view, you can plan sprints by dragging work items between the sprint lanes. To reassign work items, drag them across to the new lane. Click the pin icon at the top of any lane to keep it open and facilitate the reorganization of work items. You can also review statistics about how a sprint is progressing. Information includes hours worked versus total hours estimated, work items completed versus total work items, and story points achieved versus total story points estimated. This concludes the IBM Cloud Developer Certification Section 5.2 review. More information about IBM Bluemix DevOps Services track and plan features can be found at https://hub.jazz.net/docs/track plan.